So the topic of today's sermon is being smart can lead to success. A long time ago, in the Buddha's age, there was a banker and his wife, and they were very, very rich. They were very, very rich. And what happened was they contracted a very dangerous disease. Now, the banker got sick, the wife got sick, all the servants and all the helpers got sick. The son, however, was not sick, but he was very young. He was only about 5 to 6 years old. Well, the parents then said, "Son, run away from the house, go as far away as you can, and try to survive. Don't come back home for a while, because it looks like we will not be able to survive this sickness. However, we have a large amount of treasure buried in the forest far away. If you ever need it, this is where it is, and go grab it when you need it." So the boy went away like his father said, and he spent 12 years in the forest. He was begging, he was poor, and he just tried to survive. But he was smart. He knew that a young boy alone, if he had pulled out some treasure, people would be curious as to where he got it from. They'd probably accuse him of being a thief, they'd probably accuse him of stealing it from other people, and probably put him in jail. So he didn't use any of the money and didn't touch it, because he knew that if he did, he wouldn't be able to keep it. Now, as time passed, he decided he wanted to come back to the town. Well, when he came back to town, he says, okay, it's time for me to start making a living. And he thought about the treasure again. It would be so easy for him just to pull up the millions of gold and treasure and live very lavishly. But once again, he has no friends, he has no history, and he has no social status. Therefore, if he suddenly arrived dirty and smelly with a couple million gold coins, what would happen? They would probably arrest him, thinking that he stole it again, thinking that he took it from somewhere else with no proof. Most likely they would give the money to the king and he would be put in jail, or worse. So the young boy decided that it would not be smart for him to pull out the money now. So he decided to live simply again. He found a simple job as, let's call it, a broadcaster. His job was every day to scream in the morning, wake up, it's time for breakfast, it's time for lunch. And he would scream, run around the town yelling and screaming so that people would wake up, almost like an alarm clock. So that's what he did. And he did it very, very often. Now, the king had a special talent. He was a very worthy king. His name was Pimbisara. He was very special in that he was very smart. And he was able to tell, just by the voice of a person, that this person is special. And so when he heard the voice of this young man yelling and waking people up, he said, this is not the voice of a simple, silly, not very intelligent laborer. This guy is very intelligent. So he sent his servant to go check him out and see what's the story. Well, when they found him, he was very poor and just dirty clothes and didn't seem like anything special. So the servant returned and said, he's nothing, he's nobody, just a poor guy. The king says, no, there's something about him, go find out. Well, the servant found some way to go stay at this young man's house. And they made a rule that said, the king wants everyone to make a small donation to some charity. Everyone has to. Well, this young man had no money at all. So he decided he had to go to the stash and pull out 1 gold coin. Well, when he came back with the 1 gold coin, the young lady saw and reported to the king. Now the king called him and said, come to me and tell me what happened. I promise you, you will not get in trouble if you tell the truth. And so the young man told the truth. My parents were very, very rich. They were the city bankers. And I decided to live poorly because I knew that if I pulled out the money at any time, I would probably get in trouble. Therefore, I chose to live simply, even though it was hard for me, but I chose to live simply because that was the smartest thing to do. And the king said, only a wise man could do something like this. Only a wise person would make the sacrifice over your own happiness, over the simplest, making life easier for yourself. Only someone smart could do this, and smart people need to be rewarded. So the king in his wisdom gave this young man his daughter's hand in marriage and made him the city banker, the city tax collector. And so from that moment on, he was very wealthy and very, very affluent. Now the moral of this story is this. A lot of times the easy way out is too easy. You can win the lottery, you can maybe use your parents' inheritance, you can make a lot of money doing a lot of bad things. But these things, we don't realize that they're not the best way to live life. It's the simplest, but it's not the best. Because most often, bad things will follow when you make simple decisions without thinking about it. But for the person who knows how to plan, to think ahead, to pay attention to results, for these people, they will always be able to ward off danger or problems because they pay attention. They use their intelligence. And that is why the Buddha, he emphasized so strongly that a person must be intelligent. Your brain is your biggest weapon. And if you don't use it, you will probably lose in the war of life. But if you use your brain, you pay attention, you contemplate, you think, you don't act too emotionally, most likely life will become easier for someone like you. So we hope that through this sermon and through coming to this temple, you guys will become a little more intelligent in the things that you do. Make smarter decisions based on your intelligence rather than your emotions. And hopefully we can all become better people and have better lives and be more happy.